The bill is passed.
Late today, lawmakers in the U.S. House approved an increase to stimulus payments. Now it heads to the Senate for consideration. We'll have the very latest from Washington, D.C., plus when that stimulus check could hit your bank account.
Our gloomy gray weather continues tomorrow, but tracking our last round of snow for 2020 for Wednesday and Thursday.
And as many businesses all across the state are struggling during the pandemic, one local casino says it's planning to expand. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 11. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Regina is off tonight. Taking a live look at the White House this evening, where lawmakers have been busy trying to pass new legislation before the year ends. Tonight, the House approved two crucial measures. First, it passed the Cash Act to give millions of Americans $2,000 stimulus checks, and afterwards it voted to override a presidential veto, and now both measures move on to the Senate for consideration. They meet tomorrow. Skylar Henry reports from Capitol Hill tonight.
The bill is passed.
The House approved a bill to increase direct stimulus payments from $600 to $2,000, one day after President Trump finally signed the COVID relief bill into law.
Putting money into the hands of the American people is a boost to our economy.
I worry that this whopping $463 billion won't do what's needed.
The president's sudden shift on the bill brings relief to many financially strapped Americans, but his delay resulted in a one-week lapse in unemployment benefits for more than 14 million recipients.
The yeas are 322, the nays are 87.
House lawmakers voted to override the president's veto of the critical defense bill that funds the U.S. military. If the Senate also votes to override Tuesday, it'll be the first veto override of Mr. Trump's presidency.
Senate Republicans have not committed to bringing up a vote on increased stimulus payments. Senate Democrats are calling on President Trump to persuade them.
These Senate Republicans have followed you through thick and thin. Get them now to act and support the $2,000 checks.
President Trump played another round of golf Monday in South Florida.
You support the $2,000 direct payment, sir? Yes.
President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris met virtually with members of his national security and foreign policy teams in Delaware.
We just aren't getting all the information that we need for the outgoing administration in key national security areas. It's nothing short, in my view, of irresponsibility.
Pentagon officials tell CBS News that meetings with the Biden transition team have paused for the holidays. They're expected to resume next month. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And here's a look at how our local lawmakers voted on that House bill to increase COVID relief payments from $600 to $2,000. The measure passed with a vote of 275 to 134. Washington Representative Kathy McMorris Rodgers voted against the measure. Idaho Representatives Russ Fulcher and Mike Simpson also voted no. And there are still a lot of unknowns about what will happen next if the Senate doesn't approve the increase of stimulus checks. But here's what we do know about that $600 promised in the original coronavirus relief bill. The number one question: when will people see money in their bank accounts? The answer: we just don't know yet. Last week, the U.S. Treasury Secretary said direct payments could be sent out just days after the bill became law. Next, do you have to sign up to receive a stimulus check? No. If you file taxes in 2019 and you qualify, the IRS will use the information they have on file to deposit that money directly into your account. If the IRS doesn't have your banking information, it will send you a check in the mail. Who qualifies for another stimulus check? Well, if your 2019 reported income was $75,000 or less, you will be eligible for that one-time payment. That amount drops by $5 as your income goes up by $100. So, for example, people who made $75,100 will get $595. If you have a dependent who is under the age of 17, you'll get an additional $600 per child. If the dependent is older than 17, like a college student, you won't. And if you don't have a valid Social Security number, you are not eligible to get a payment. Washington Governor Jay Inslee announced a plan to fill in the gaps of the relief bill for residents in need here. The state will provide relief to about 95,000 Washingtonians until the federal relief kicks in. Governor Inslee says this will be a one-time payment while residents wait for their federal benefits. If you would like the latest news on stimulus payments, Washington's relief payments, or information on unemployment, just text us the word money to 509-448-2000 and we'll send that information directly to your phone. All right, let's pause now and talk weather. The snow that fell on Christmas Day is still on the ground. More now is headed our way. Meteorologist Michelle Boss joining us tonight. And Michelle, when's that next round of snow hitting us here in the inland Northwest?
It's going to be moving in early Wednesday morning, so even if you're headed out, say 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, if you still got to go to work that day, there will likely already be a couple of inches of snow on the ground. Been checking the latest computer models and feel a little bit better about throwing some preliminary numbers out there for snow amounts. The main thing is it's definitely going to be snowy and heavy snow in the mountains of the Cascades, looking at 10 to 16 inches. That would include Snoqualmie Pass and Stevens Pass. On the east side at Lookout Pass, looking at 4 to 6 inches, and it does look like Spokane and Coeur d'Alene will likely be under the moderate snow area where we could pick up 4 to 6 inches of snow. Much less accumulations as you move southwest, where they're likely get into some warmer air and see a quicker changeover into rain. All right, in the short term though, our current issues are visibility, low clouds, some fog. Half-mile visibility at the Spokane Airport, 4 miles in the Spokane Valley, and its visibility has been up and down. But even if you aren't in the fog, we've got the low clouds. We've had a little bit of light freezing drizzle come out of those clouds earlier today, and even a few flurries are possible overnight and tomorrow morning. Temperatures are well below freezing pretty much everywhere. 26 in Spokane, 26 in Coeur d'Alene. So some of those side roads could be slick tomorrow morning and even throughout the day as temperatures do not climb above freezing. Gloomy tomorrow, high of only 28 degrees. Snow on the way for your Wednesday with a high of 34. Could be mixing with a little rain by late in the day, and it looks like some morning rain or snow showers on Thursday with a high in the mid-30s. All
right, bring on that mountain snow. Thank you, Michelle. We'll talk to you a little bit later in the broadcast. Bars are closed, indoor dining is not allowed in restaurants, and a slew of other businesses all across the state are struggling right now. But that is not the case at the Spokane Tribe Casino. As Morgan Trow explains, the casino is actually planning to expand.
Governor Inslee's curfews affect every bar in the state, except on reservations. As bars all across the state remain shut down under Governor Jay Inslee's latest COVID-19 restrictions, business rolls on at Spokane Tribe Casino just west of Spokane. The casino's open until 3 in the morning.
It's one of the few establishments in the area that is open and allows us to come out and socialize and drink responsibly and hang out with friends.
Jeremiah Dockin is one of the many customers taking advantage of the casino's relaxed rules during the pandemic. It is built on Spokane tribal exclusive Aboriginal territory and owned and operated by the Spokane Tribe of Indians. The governor's COVID-19 guidelines do not apply since they have tribal sovereignty.
We benefited from being, the one of the few entertainment options within the Spokane area.
Casino General Manager Javier De La Rosa says business has been great for them, profiting around 10% more than average every month. With how well they are doing, they decided to double the size of their current facility, adding in another restaurant and an area for sports betting, which was legalized in early 2020.
Needless to say, with that expansion comes 300 new jobs in the area, and so we're most excited about, obviously, the new jobs.
The casino still follows most of Inslee's guidelines, requiring temperature checks at the door, enforcing masks, and cleaning off areas consistently.
During the pandemic, it's been an area that's open and accessible to us, so it makes it nice.
They say the expansion will be finished in the fall of 2021. Reporting in Airway Heights, Morgan Trow, KREM 2 News.
Friends and family of Vince Bozzi, the owner and publisher of Coeur d'Alene Living, are expressing concern and showing their support for the beloved businessman. In a new post on a GoFundMe page benefiting Vince, his family called for more prayers as the publisher's condition has worsened. His sister writes that Vince's kidneys are failing and he is still on a ventilator. Despite those setbacks, his family's not giving up, and you'll recall Vince's wife Emily lost her life to coronavirus earlier this month. Meantime, the coronavirus is continuing to spread at an alarming rate at Airway Heights Correction Center. Another 135 inmates have tested positive just since last week. This is by far the largest prison outbreak in the state of Washington. More than 1,400 inmates have tested positive for the virus this month. One inmate has died from COVID-19. The Airway Heights facility houses about 1,900 inmates. Meantime, the Spokane Regional Health District reporting 147 new cases today. That brings the total number of cases to more than 25,000. 2 new deaths were also reported today. So far, 355 people have died in Spokane County since the pandemic began. Meantime, over in North Idaho, they are reporting 332 new cases today from over the weekend. That brings their total number of cases to 15,754 since the pandemic began. 6 new deaths were also reported. Currently, 99 people are hospitalized in North Idaho. All right, still ahead on KREM 2 News at 11 tonight, an unlikely group is aiming to help women all across North Idaho. Why a local bar owner who's hosting a donation drop box is getting some negative backlash and what he's saying about that. Plus,
I think the hardest thing is trying to give people hope when they feel like there isn't, when you can't give them a resource.
more people than ever are needing help to pay for utilities all throughout Spokane. So we'll tell you the resources available coming up after the break.